Hey, what's up everyone? Mendel here. I hope you are all doing awesome and wonderful. So in the previous video, I used Cubase Elements and VST Amp Rack to create like a heavy rock tone. And in this video, I'm going to use Cubase Elements and VST Amp Rack to create a cool rock lead tone. So as always, let's dig right in. Here we go. Alright, so here we are in Cubase Elements. I still have my VST Amp Rack channel over here. And now again, let's go from scratch. But now I'm going to create a lead tone. You just hear my DI here. I'm plugged straight into the high Z input of my interface. And now let's load up VST Amp Rack and create a lead tone. Alright, so you might think, well, what's the difference between a rhythm tone and a lead tone? Can't you just like play solo on a rhythm tone? And yes, of course you can, and that might work for the mix or for the song or for playing live. That might perfectly work. But for my personal taste, I like my lead tone to be a bit different than the rhythm tone. And sometimes it can be just using the same amp, same settings, or a different cab, or it could be the same amp, same settings, same cab. But most of the time, what I'm going for on a lead tone is less bass and a bit more mid, upper mids, and more like focus forward, if that makes any sense. So especially in the mix, you can clearly hear the solo guitar. So let's try. Again, like I really like both of these amps. I'm gonna put the plexi cab again. Let's try the 50 watts again. This is the 100 watts. And now what I'm just gonna try is gonna put the bass around 2 and the gain around 8. I'm gonna do the same thing on the 50 watt version. Let's go back and forth. I still think I like the 50 watts more, but perhaps a bit less bass, a bit more mids, perhaps a tiny bit less treble, but a bit more presence. Let's see just how it sounds. Some noodling, my apologies. But I think like putting the bass all the way down, perhaps even a bit more mids, a bit less treble, bit more presence. So especially because the bass all the way at 0 now, these notes, they are more clear, they're less fat, but I'm not going for a rhythm tone, I'm going for a lead tone. And I like this will fit in the mix. Like if I would put the bass around 6 or something, you get that really heaviness. But that's not something I want for a lead tone, at least in my opinion. I prefer to have like less bass, or in this case, bass all the way at 0. Cool, because like in the mix, we have the heavy rhythm guitars, and there will be bass guitar. Like all that space is already taken, and I just like my lead tone needs to start at, I think like starting at 150 hertz or something. So this is perfect. Cool. Now I do need a bit of overdrive, just like I did with the rhythm tone in the previous video. So let's put the drive at 12. Let's put everything at 12 and see how it sounds. This is without it. Now with it. Now let's see what happens when I just up the level. Sorry for the noodling, but I just love how it sounds. Really cool. I like this. So again, I'm gonna add a gate like I did in the previous video, but now I'm just gonna put it all the way down just in case. But now it's like nice and sized. Again, it's without it. And now on, way better. So now let's go through a different cab perhaps. So I was on the plexi. This is a diamond. Okay, that sounds okay. Just for fun, let's try the tweed. It's a bit too thin. I can't decide between the plexi and the diamond. You know what? Let's just stick with the diamond, and then in the next video or the last video where I will mix a song using these tones, we'll see if the diamond fits. And that's the cool thing about this plugin. During mixing you can change cabs. But so far it sounds cool. Okay, so now let's go to the microphone. As I said in the previous video, I really like the position over here. And we have the U87 microphone and the SM57. So let's try all the way U87. Let's try in the middle. Let's try all the way 57. I think now I'm just going for in the middle, but a bit more towards the 57. All right, and now to finalize the tone a tiny bit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off a tiny bit of like the lows that I don't need. Just a bit like that. Starting at 100 Hertz. And perhaps darken just that tiny bit of top end. Now I said finalize it, but there's one thing you can do if you want, and I prefer to do it while mixing, using like sends and stuff like that. But just to showcase like the possibilities here, you have these post effects. For an example, we can use some delay. And I like to set it around like 380 milliseconds most of the time. Around there. It's really cool, a bit less feedback, perhaps a bit less mix. And what what I like my delays going into the reverb. So let's put the mix around, like, let's say 15. And let's try a bunch of different ones. So now it's on the studio. Okay, so you have hall. That sounds pretty cool. We have plate. And we have room. I think I'm going for the hall, perhaps up the percentage a bit. Delay on again. Sounds awesome, sounds really cool. Again, so this is just the amp with everything off. And this is what the amp sounds like with everything on. Awesome, very awesome. Now, before I round up this video, I would just want to note a very important thing. I've been creating this tone on a mono track, so everything is right down the middle. Like mainly focusing on the reverb and the delay. But the cool thing is, if you do this on a stereo track, it can really widen your tone. So I just want to showcase this. So let's say I press right click here, add audio track. Let's say it's VST Amp Rack stereo, just like that. And what I'm going to do is press F3, and I'm going to duplicate it by dragging it and holding Alt. That duplicates it. So this is the original tone. And this is the stereo tone. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions about this. I'd be happy to help. And in the next video, we're going to use the rock tone from the previous video and this lead tone to create a cool short rock song. See you next time. Cheers.